He had been on the road all morning, taking his new route. The day was getting close to afternoon, and there were not many people on his bus. The man then jumped in while holding the little boy in his arms. At first, the driver didn't pay attention to him, but when he looked closely, he saw that there was something very wrong. Andrew was a bus driver like any other in Boston. He had been driving for more than a decade and loved what he did. Andrew thought that one of the best ways to see Boston was by bus. He loved taking people from one place to another. After years of driving, he had seen everything the city had to offer. That was the case until this happened. Andrew's route went through the neighborhoods of Jamaica Plain and Roslindale, which he wanted everyone in the world to see. Every morning, he would get up early and get ready for the day. By about 11 a.m., he would be on his second tour of the neighborhoods. Even though this day started out the same as the others, Andrew knew it would be different. Andrew's boss changed his route for the day so that he wouldn't take his usual route. He had no problem with the change. Drivers often took different routes at different times of the day. He got on a bus going to Mission Hill and started driving. The day was already bright, and it looked like it would be a life-changing event. Andrew's plan for how the drive would start came true. As he went up and down his route, many people got on board. A man got on the bus as the morning turned into the afternoon. The only interesting thing about him was that he was holding a little boy. He gave Andrew a nod and moved to the middle seat on the bus. Then, however, something happened. The boy started crying loudly as soon as the man sat down. The man did everything he could to make him calm down, but nothing worked. First, he showed the boy a bunch of keys, and then he tried to give him his phone. When the boy kept crying, he sighed and smiled awkwardly at the other people on the bus. Andrew was interested in what happened next. The child began to cry. The engine of the bus was quieter than his voice. Andrew took a deep breath and looked back. He could see that the man was trying to get him to stay quiet by shaking him. Even though the man tried to help, the boy's cries got worse. He started kicking around instead of just sitting on the man's lap. Andrew saw it at that point. It looked like the man was holding the boy tighter than a parent would. He seemed to be a new parent because he was freaking out about the mess the little boy was making. He gave the other people on the bus another nervous smile and said he was sorry. He gently rocked the baby while holding his legs down. Even though the noise stopped for a while, Andrew knew something was wrong. Andrew kept looking in the rearview mirror as he drove the bus. Something inside of him was yelling at him to stop the bus and help the man. Andrew was a father of 4, so he knew how kids could act sometimes. He thought back to the first time he tried to calm down his first child and thought that maybe this was the same thing, but something looked wrong. The child was crying and also trying to get away from the man's grip. He also had a feeling of fear as if he had just met the man. Andrew's brows went up at the thought. What if the man had nothing to do with the boy? What if someone had taken him? Andrew's arms were wet with sweat as he thought about how his theory might work. The boy kicked away from the man at this point. Andrew saw his feet in the middle of all the chaos. The cold chill that shot up his spine made him gasp. The boy was dressed in bright pink jeans and blue shoes. Andrew remembered right away that he had seen a story about a missing child on the news the night before. He talked about the same clothes that the boy wore. Were they identical? Andrew's view of what was going on changed because of this new information. He noticed how different the man and the boy were and realized that they couldn't be related. Andrew knew now that the man shouldn't have been with that boy, but he couldn't get close to him, so he gave the boy back. He had to make a plan. Andrew called 911 while driving and said the boy was missing in a casual way. He talked more quietly so that no one on the bus could hear him. The police came up with a plan on the spot and told him to drive as carefully as he could to the next stop. Andrew did as he was told, his heart racing as he tried his best to stay calm. Andrew kept the bus going at the same speed as best he could so as not to scare the man. Even though he couldn't see any police cars, he was sure that they were close by because the bus stop was coming up. At the terminal, the bus stopped without any trouble. People started to get off the bus, including the man and the boy. But as soon as the man's feet hit the tarmac, police officers were all over him. The man was arrested, and after doing more research, the police found out that the boy was the missing child. The police called the boy's parents to tell them that their son was safe. When they asked Andrew why he had risked his life to save him, he said that he wouldn't know what to do if one of his children went missing.